Hi, this is Ken. It's 3:17 p.m. on a Monday, February 3rd. I wanted to put this video out. I don't know how well it's going to go. It's going to have to be a sloppy Joe. I have so much to say and so little time. I'm not in the library today, so I don't have the best of atmosphere to present myself. In any case, I wanted to start out by sharing with everybody what it is I have. I have these spheres that Deanna Anaya has made for me at thespiritualfoundation.com. She and JS6 cranks up all the stones and all the spheres that they mail out. This is one of the boxes, that a really nice, elegant box that Deanna puts each sphere in, with nice little packing. So if you ever get an opportunity to buy a sphere from her, even though she's in Spain and delivering from that country, you're gonna get these spheres. They're gonna be in good shape. They're not gonna break at all. So I have 10 of them here. In fact, where's my list here? I need to, on my list is right here. This is what I have. I have 3 brain relaxing spheres, and that's because Jay suggested I get these, since he's going to have maybe some ETs come and train me on how to use this in a situation where I'm going to be teaching something that I'm going to be told to teach to ADD or whatever people here where I live. I don't know where he came up with that idea all of a sudden, but he did. I have a shamanic journey sphere. I have a max metavision sphere. That's the first sphere I ever got. Boy, I can barely say anything. I have a spiritual healing sphere. I have a pineal sphere. I have a crystal dragonesonite sphere. I have a max multi-dimension vision sphere, and I have a physical healing sphere. Right now, after this video, I'll just remove 9 of these spheres and put them in the garage. They're so powerful. The energy is so great, it just overwhelms my senses, and I just can't sleep at night. So the physical healing sphere has done a lot to help me work through the body issues I've had, which I will be going through, maybe not today, but through these documents I'm going to post. I have a bunch of documents that outline everything I've been doing since being cranked up with the DNA ICUC. I want to zip through the protocol I developed for cultivating PYSIO kinetics, and this is the kind of kinetics at this point that works with healing myself and perhaps healing others. I've had success with animals, and I have all this stuff actually outlined in what it is I can do, but it's important that I show you where I began to develop this kinetic energy over time. I'm going to transfer this laptop over to my boudoir, my bed actually. I'm in a studio apartment I've set up for my activities here, so just bear with me while I move everything over to my bed. And you're going to watch exactly what I do to have again made this kinetic energy flow through me. And because I'm trying to do this at a warp speed, I'm not going to be saying everything that needs to be said, so in my subsequent videos I'll catch up. But anyway, I want to first point out, this is really important in my view. I've set up my bed with a 4-inch ply of foam on top of my regular mattress, because I needed that extra luxury of comfort so that I could flow through hours of feeling this energy go through me. Then I have what's called these neck pillows. They're very important in my opinion. After using this, after years of having neck pain, my neck pain has gone away. You might find it useful in your case. So I'm going to get set up here. I'm going to show you exactly what I've been doing. So I got my pillow there. Can you see me? Yeah, I think you can see me. Lighting isn't so much of an issue. I'm in the Tramp Studio here. Okay, so years ago I saw a video that Jay Essex put out in which he was talking about energy flowing through his right hand fingers, and he pursed them like this. And he said, you know, you could, I can't remember everything he said, but basically you could see the energy, you could feel it. That's how you cultivate it. And in addition, Bershu Onder said the same thing with energy coming out of her fingers. She doesn't have her videos up online anymore, but they need to be re-uploaded. I've got them all. I got to get her permission to re-upload them. They're superb videos. She's Jay's source student, I guess you call her. She learned metaphysicality through him, and he considers her one of the best, if not the most powerful source consultant around. I don't know why she's on sabbatical or retired or what, but nonetheless, I'll try and see if I can get her back online. Okay, so moving forward, Jay talked about the energy like that, and I took that idea and I was asking myself, how could I do the same thing? And people have posted a lot of videos on YouTube in which they say that you can feel the energy through your hands and fingers like these chi balls. Well, what is that? So I started playing with the idea that, well, maybe I can activate the kinetic energy like Jay and through my hands and the rest of the body. So I started to go like that and noticed that there was a change in kinetic expression and feeling when I put my hands up like this. And right now I feel the repulsion. Maybe you guys can feel the repulsion like this. It's only when we cup the fingers around like this and create a circle of sorts where we feel the repulsion that would appear to be a sphere. That's why they say chi balls. I don't like that term actually because it's misleading. There's no such thing as chi balls. There's just repulsion of energy. Anyway, I started out like that, and for months, I was going like that, trying to feel the energy from the positive to the negative. The polarity books I've listed in the past videos, showing where you can get the free book 2 of polarity from Dr. Kenneth. What? I'm forgetting. Anyway, we'll figure it out later on. I looked at the diagrams in there, and he talked about how the body is sectioned off into positive and negative polarity. So anyway, I took this and I started shining what I thought would be the energy coming from this hand to that hand. And in the beginning, I didn't really feel anything, and I swear to you, it took me months just doing this every night. I would lie in bed like this, and I would prop up actually my elbows. I got tired of holding my hands up. I have a ton of pillows here. I don't need to use them anymore because I've cultivated, triggered my kinetic energy to go all over the place. God, I have so much to tell. So you can see here, I propped up my elbows, and it's easy. Just put them together and lie in bed at night just before I'm ready to fall asleep and practice feeling it, forcing myself to feel it. Finally, I started to feel something, and I said, you know what, it's time I just believe in myself. You know, this stuff does exist. So then I started pulling it down, pointing my fingers down my wrist. I started to feel the hairs stand up on end. And, you know, there are 5 videos that I've produced in the past which outline this information. And you might, if you're interested, you can go back and look at them. Each one of them is actually the same information with a twist to it. I just didn't want to throw them away or delete them because I spent a lot of time producing those things, preparing for them. So you'll glean a little bit of information from each one. It's up to you which one you want to look to. But from that, I can't recall. It's been years since I looked at those videos. I've had them on my channel, and I walked away from producing videos for a while, and now I'm coming back since September of 2024 and producing stuff, and it's fun. It's really fun. You guys out there, you got to try it, you know? You learn a lot as you go along producing these videos. I've tapped into different areas of this kinetic energy that has given me kind of insight of where I'm ultimately going to go. See, I'm stumbling over my words. I apologize. So here I am. My videos talk about how I go through my body. The energy comes up into my head, goes down my back, and comes up and goes in. Right now, it's gone through my crown since the summer of 2024, middle crown, and now it's coming down into the lower crown, and I'm feeling this by way of my lower lip being ticklish, my tongue going numb, and I'm losing a sense of taste. Now, all this can be confused with the diabetes peripheral neuropathy that I have. Over 50% of the people who develop diabetes have peripheral neuropathy. Gosh darn it, I forgot to do something. I wanted to explain this. I've got to hop out of bed and bring something here and explain this to you while I can. Okay, hold tight. Okay, here it is. I wanted to show this to everybody because this is basically $1,000 device, way overpriced, coming from a company called Rebuilder Medical. And what it is a frequency generator, 7.23 I don't know, what is it, gigahertz, kilohertz, milliwatt, I don't know, I'm not into that kind of stuff. But anyway, you can go to the website, and what this does is generate the frequencies that supposedly rebuild the nerves of the feet when one starts to have this peripheral neuropathy. It was nothing more than your body breaking down, the nerves breaking down, and you can rebuild them. But I use this, and what it is exactly, you hook up some wires with some pads at the end, you connect them to your feet, sticky pads, and you feel your feet vibrate and all that. But after a while of using this, it got to be a drag. So I started to trust in the idea that maybe the kinetic energy that I seem to be cultivating, or chi energy, I guess, I could say as well, it could be focused and directed at my feet and see what that can do to liven up my body, get my body to regenerate those nerve endings, and so naturally I began to do that when at night, after practicing, feeling this chi, or kinetic energy basically, um, I would lie down and my arms would be at my side, and naturally I point my fingers in the energy, what I couldn't exactly feel at the time as strong as I can now. I would point it at my feet, and over a period of time, the pain in my feet that develops since September of 2019 actually, when I started to get dizzy. You know that when we have crank ups, for those of you out there who've had a DNA ICUC, we start to get dizzy at some point. You know, our brain is going through the DNA change. So I really was going through a terrible time, just losing my balance, you know, because of the quandary I get from this dizziness. So I kept focusing this energy at my feet, and then it became apparent as the energy, for some reason, I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but this energy, it's Jay's energy on top of mine. That's the way I feel it. Like he's the big, I don't know, cape or something hovering over my shoulders. So I can't take credit for all this as much as it is that his energy that he used to cultivate my hypothalamus to waken up and start flowing again and give me metaphysical energy, like you folks out there have or want to learn to have through a consultant like, what's her name? Not Kate Fletcher, but I'm losing it. This is the reason why I've got to produce videos as quickly as I can, because my mind is going. I don't know if it's a result of the crank up, but I'm 73 now, and I'm starting to feel effects of senility, and you know, I can't hide it. It happens to all of us. I stumble over my words, I forget words, in the middle of a sentence, words that are commonly known that I use all the time, I just forget them. Anyway, moving on. So you know, this energy, the kinetic energy, started to heighten in me, to get stronger and stronger, and I figured out from understanding this why I can't walk long distances like I used to, because that's what I was using as exercise. Well, my left hand was swinging alongside of me as I was walking, and it was hitting, the energy was hitting my left knee and making it go out all the time. So uh, I started to make connections here and there as the energy started to build up in me every night, as I started to over a period, actually over a period of years, and I hate to tell you that it took that long for me, and I believe that you younger folks can get this kinetic uh, feeling in yourself without years of practicing it, like I have in bed every night, sitting there trying to feel where I point my fingers out where it can go. It's because you guys you're younger and your brains grow bigger than it is for an older person. I got my DNA ICUC originally from J. Essex in September 5th of 2017, and that was right after, I think that Barry, I think his name is, from the Alaskan Trio. That's a good channel to go to and learn stuff. And then Frank Zoo is in there somewhere, I think. You can buy stones from Frank as well. I've talked about him off and on in my past videos, but he's an okay guy. Anyway, I'll move on here. So all along, I'm making connections as this energy is building, and it was growing inside of me, populating blotches at a time in my body, which is absolutely weird. I mean, you'd think that your body would just all of a sudden just be overwhelmed with energy that from then on you could define and figure out what you do with it. No, for me it was like a puzzle. It would happen here in my hip, this foot over here, this side of my body, and I got the inspiration of just continuing to focus this energy, trying to pry it out of my body as if knowing that it was probably there, but it just needed a lot of kind of dedication, of pressure to pull it forward. And that's what I think that people have to do, unfortunately. I tried to teach this stuff to Mike Dex and to Frank Zoo, and I didn't hear from them ever since. And they're pineal or pineal, I don't know how you pronounce the word. They're pineal energy. So it may be that pineal energy people have a harder time to cultivate this stuff. So you out there, you have to know what your energy center is. Heart energy, mine is solar plexus. Maybe for solar plexus people, it's easier to cultivate this kinetic energy, and plus I had that original DNA ICUC through J. Essex. Now, his energy is different from the consultants. That's for sure. And as he has said, that since all of us who've had his energy put into them through the DNA ICUC, that is what the ETs can zero in on, which is an interesting idea. Uh, they can zero in on his energy to us. So for whatever reason he told me that, or us that, I don't know, but does it make a difference? If you're cranked up, if your hypothalamus, through any of the other consultants can do, generate the same kinetic stuff in us. Anyway, it's my body's like a puzzle. I would feel something over here, but not over here. Um, and the reason why I say that is because my thinking has been all the while that it should be a complete body feeling. But no, this stuff comes alive in you, just pieces at a time, where your body's opened up, with the frequencies actually of your viscera and your muscle and your tissue and everything are receptive to the frequencies that your hand um, uh, uh, cultivates, or oh gosh, see, I'm losing my words here. Articulates is the word. You articulate. I'm telling you, I can see this stuff. We all articulate frequencies, aka energy, right? I say frequencies a lot because energy is broken down into frequencies. I mean, one can understand a little bit more of what I'm trying to convey by thinking in terms of frequencies. Okay, so what I learned from polarity theory, God, what is that guy's name? Dr. Kenneth, frustrates me. Again, I'm losing my memory here. He talks about polarity and broken down in all different parts of your body. Well, I discovered in feeling the kinetic energy that started to creep into my senses that let's see if I can do that. I can move my finger just not even that much, millimeters at a time, and I could feel that energy in my thorax. And I begin to think about that, and it really puzzled me to understand what that was all about. Well, I've talked about this stuff in the past in another previous video, but I just happened to coincidentally watch an incredible video put out by, what was it, PBS or Nova on um, YouTube, and the title was something like Einstein's entanglement spooky projection uh, dilemma, something like that. There are a lot of videos on YouTube that explain Einstein's quantum entanglement. I would suggest you look at these if you have the opportunity, because the second piece of the puzzle of what I'm doing with this kinetic energy involves that theory, and that is my hand, as I started to understand that it was built up of all these different frequencies that I could articulate and change at will. I could project these frequencies at my thorax, and I can see these shapes. It's incredible. It's incredible. You know, the theory states that in space, something over here, I'm off screen, I guess, something over here exists over here, and it's true. So I see the shapes of my hand here. That's where I got the idea of, hey, I wonder if I can communicate with these different shapes. And then I fell on the idea of ASL, American Sign Language, in which I could learn these shapes. I can't do shapes exactly on the screen, but I can learn ASL, project these shapes into my thorax. Why can't I do it to other people? And there are people out there who are blind deaf. These are the most bravest people in the world, if you think about it. They've had to grow up learning how to conduct themselves, how to communicate with other people, including other deaf blind people, and they do that through tactile ASL. They instead of being able to see the ASL hand shapes, they touch each other. This is so cool. This is so cool. So they feel the shape of the words that are being broadcasted from somebody else's hand signals. So I'm at the point now where I would love to train a source guide, a source consultant, and how to do even the more particular stuff I can't even convey with a short. I don't know how long I'm going here. In this video, I really try to keep them short. Oh, it's 24 minutes. I got to wrap this up somehow. It's so hard. There's just so much to say. I want to teach a source consultant how to do this, and then see if they can DNA ICUC somebody else who's deaf and blind, and teach them that they could, or two people actually, how they can communicate with one another. It's a big, big project, and it may be that I won't even be able to get that far, because J. Essex has talked about how he's going to, within 5 years changes all from corporeal to pure essence. It's a long story. If you folks out there aren't familiar with J. Essex, he has a long history of talking about what it is he wants to ultimately do with humanity. He wants to change us back to our original self. I don't know if that makes sense to you. But anyway, the idea of cultivating uh, kinetic energy in us is just there. You have to feel the nuance, the fainter than faint um, feeling that is generated over time, that are the triggers that populate our body at times, that let us know, like a ring from a telephone, to for you to focus in on and answer. And that's what I did. Even with, do I have my, I don't even have, I don't have my original stone from the spiritual foundation here. Hold tight, this is important. This is the first stone I got. High crystal star aconite from Vienna. The best purchase I ever made. If you want to start off learning about stone energy, get this stone first. It's not that expensive. She'll send it to you from Spain. But anyway, I have a story I said once. I'll go over it real briefly. I, I, it's part and parcel of this whole concept of developing kinetic energy. I took this stone, held it like this, like what Jay was saying. I could never feel stone energy. And then one day I put it underneath my chin as I was lifting up my body like this to remove a blanket, sleeping blanket underneath my back. When it was summertime and it was just getting too hot to lie down on the thing. And I removed it, and I kept the stone there instead of holding it like that in bed. You may find, if you haven't had the opportunity to have a stone energy experience, or for those of you who have, it gets tiresome sometimes just holding that stone in that air. So I was using my pillows again, and I was holding the stone like that. I just got tired of it, and plus, like I was saying, I was getting overheated on the backside, my back. So I put it underneath my chin like that, and I did that for several days, off and on. When I would take a quick nap, that having a DNA ICUC for me meant, in the beginning, up until maybe 5 years ago, I was sleeping all the time, just sleeping, and that's what J. Essex warned us about, that with all the DNA changes of your body, person would be sleeping a lot. I just had to take these cat naps all the time. So I would say, I don't know what I said originally in a previous story I outlined on this experience, but it was right away that I started to feel something, or a few days later, after repetitive use of putting it underneath my chin, I started to flinch like this. And it's like, wow, that freaked me out. What's that all about? And I kept doing that once I felt some kind of a prick feeling on the side of my left side. Everything for me starts on the left side. Don't know why, but on the heart side. And so I kept feeling these different pricks, just one at a time, and it freaked me out so much. As soon as I got that flinch feeling, it's really a harsh feeling. I would get up, I'd move the stone and walk away. And after a while, I didn't even try to use the stone underneath my chin. I was buying spheres, and then that was another issue. Oh boy, I'm really drifting here. And folks, stay tuned in this video. I know I'm running a little long, but it's kind of important stuff. What can I say before I move away from stored energy? There's always something to say. I'll pick up some of the key points that I just don't have time to get into in later videos, perhaps. But this idea, let's get back to cultivating this kinetic energy in oneself. So this energy evolves, and I could feel it evolving. If I could quantify it somehow, I'd say a millimeter at a time. Every night it started to get stronger, and in my previous videos I've talked about how I can direct this energy, the frequencies, to any part of my body. And you go, what, how can you do that? Well, I just pointed at something. I should have brought my anatomy books over here. And what I would do is I could look at pictures of the anatomy books, and I'd go, okay, that's my pancreas, it's underneath my liver. Let me see if I can visualize that, and I could without the book after a while. It's like the placement of all these organs, viscera and everything that's in my body, I could see independently for some reason. I think that had everything to do with the idea that, along with cultivating the physical side of feeling this energy, which feels like heated air. You'll hear people talk about that once in a while on YouTube. I, I, I can see holographically inside of me, whereas before it was only two-dimensional. And this is freaking awesome because, the experience of roaming around one's body inside, ooh, that's just cool. Most of us, I believe, probably don't do that. But now one has the opportunity to do that with this kinetic energy. It gives us that opportunity. And so, but it extends beyond that. I started to think after seeing that, can I heal myself? And yeah, I had rotator cuff issues, which I talk about in the documentation. I'll provide either as one summary piece uploaded into my channel at the end of this video, or another video, or in segments. I, gosh, I'm gonna take a break here. I'm talking so fast, my mouth is getting dry. So, and I'm losing my place. This is another aspect of getting older. We're all gonna get there, folks. You wait and see. So what am I saying? Okay, so, oh gosh, I apologize. And I'm not going to walk away from posting this video. You can laugh at me all you want. It's just boring. So, okay, so holographic seeing in my body. So, but it's not only seeing inside my body, but seeing outside of my body. This whole thing that I'm going through now, I've come to the conclusion that what I'm doing is the next step in everybody's metaphysical evolution, and I'll explain why. J. Essex has talked about the importance of flow of energy through the body. We feel the source field coming through the head, exiting through the feet. He made a comment about that once, about my peripheral neuropathy, that I was feeling it because the energy, I was stopping the energy from exiting, kind of a flushing out of energy from my feet. And ever since I've been doing this, pointing my hands at my feet to regenerate the nerves, it's helped to resolve that issue. Plus the fact, if you guys have peripheral neuropathy, try, in the feet that is, try massaging them like this and holding your hands to it like this, because that helps as well. But the whole idea of flow for the body came at the best of time, because as I was developing more and more energy from this kinetics, I could actually reach out and conduct an even deeper feeling, a deeper, experience from remote viewing. For some reason, I'm connected to Mount Hood. And in Mount Hood, the ETs fly in and all that kind of stuff, and they park their vehicles in there in the base of the mountain. Well, I can go in there, and I feel it. And I've said this in another video. The first thing I experience when I go in there, I taste the experience. I taste it. I can hear it. I can smell it. I can see it. I can, what else? What's the other feeling? There's 5 of them. Can't think right away what the 5th one is. It's probably on the tip of my tongue. But I go in there and I can roam around. Now, the thing about this is, when I'm remote viewing, at least with Mount Hood, I use this holographic experience of being able to go around an organ or anything. So I use that experience when I tour the docking area in Mount Hood. And I can see the platform on the left-hand side when the ships come in and do a kind of a preliminary evaluation by the ETs up there in the observation booth, like 30 feet away or something, looking out through, it's not glass windows, some other type of material. But they're doing diagnostics through these diagnostic grills that line the base of the platform there that the ETs dock on. And what it looks like, it reminds me of, what is it in the first Star Wars movie, the what do you call it, the Death Star? Almost like air conditioning units on the outside or something of the Death Star. That's kind of like what it looks like, only they're oval. And I think that's where the diagnostic machinery comes out, and it checks the ship for leakage of fuel or something, and integrity of the structure. You know, before going down, they go to the left side, they go down underneath subterranean to park. But it's the idea of cultivating this kinetic energy and using the option of letting it flow outside of oneself. That opens up an entirely new world, I'm telling you. And then I've taken this and I've adapted the idea of flow to music. I love to listen to classical music. Yeah, I'm a little bit sophisticated, folks, when it comes to classical music there. And I listen to the music, and I can create spheres of frequencies around me that allow me to feel the music. I can I can recall the tones using the place. It's hard to describe actually. I can recall the individual notes of music by the placement of articulation of my left hand, as if it's a bookmark. That I can recollect things, uh, recollect the place of where that particular note occurs in other parts of the music. And it's like even when I gotta say this. This is really cool. It's like when I'm uh, resting, okay, and let's say I'm thinking about something and I want to look at some kind of thought or perception, and something distracts me all of a sudden, like I don't know, a telephone or something cooking on the stove I have to attend to. I can freeze that spot by taking my hand and just I automatically I can configure it in a shape that's like a frickin' bookmark. And I can go off and I can talk and I come back and oh, okay, so where was I at? And there's the memory of where I was at, and then I can continue and move forward. This is cool. This is the kind of stuff that JSX talks about. He says you have no idea what kind of abilities you have, and yeah, I mean the stuff I'm going through, folks. You have to admit it's kind of freaky, right? I never, ever thought that I'd be getting into this kind of stuff back in 2016 when I first saw, a couple of JSX videos, and he's talking about the second dimension and his abilities and ETs. Is like, what the frick are you talking about? Now I'm doing it myself, and and it's cool. And I'm all over the place. I better cut short. How many minutes have I got into this thing? It's hard to tell. It's just so much to tell. 38 minutes. I gotta cut this short. 40 minutes is enough to hold your attention. But I gotta come back at some other time and talk about how this is the next stage that everybody needs to come to. They have to develop kinetic energy. They have to, and it's like it's like the idea that if you don't, you're nothing but a bump on a log, just trying to do remote controls, sitting still, trying to reach out with your mind to see something at a distance. Maybe you can do it, you can do it well. However, it's the idea, much like, three examples here. Would you rather think about riding a bicycle on a nice summer day in the country, feeling the breeze on your face, or would you rather be doing it and feeling more than that, feeling the smells of the evergreen trees around you and the flowers? You would rather be taking part of it. You'd actively like to be taking part of it. Same thing with eating food. Would you like to just think about eating tofu burgers or a hamburger, or eating an ice cream, or would you rather be doing it? And then how about this? Would you rather think about having sex, or would you rather be doing it? flopping on a bed and ruffling up the sheets. Yeah, you'd rather be doing that. This is the difference between what you're doing now, just sitting there trying to do all this stuff, without moving your body, when in fact you should be involving your hands, projecting yourself, flowing your energy out there to interact with what you're seeing. And this is the distinction that I'm trying to make, and I'm going to keep pushing forward to everybody out there, because you're missing so much in your ability, with, with your abilities that you could optimize even further. There is no way that I sit down on my lazy boy chair and listen to music or think about things without articulating my hands and my arms. I automatically go to the frequencies that match and parallel what it is I'm seeing, feeling, hearing, touching. And I could pause during commercials, like watching TV, and I can keep going if a great show like the X Files. Oh, I enjoy the X Files, or um, some of the old 1980s shows I like to listen to. Anyway, I'm getting off on a track, but there's no way I get involved with my metaphysicality without moving my arms and fingers. And the frequencies I can generate are infinite, absolutely infinite. And this is what folks out there have got to learn, in my opinion, to make the metaphysical experience just as pleasurable as possible. Now, I haven't said anything that I regret to say. I flubbed up in places, but at least as I'm speaking, I'm learning the art of narrative. And that's what I'm trying to show you people out there who've been cranked up and have never offered to produce any videos. You have to. At some point, you have to produce something, a 30-second segment of some sort, explaining yourself in quick detail on YouTube, because that's what Shay's expecting us to do. That's his implied obligation to us all who've had the luxury at this point of getting a crank up from him. So I could go off on a bit on that. In fact, I am. I'm going to be producing a video, a public video that'll be directed towards Deanna and I at the Spiritual Foundation, and talk about the importance of people to produce videos. Please, please, please produce something. It helps us all. And in any case, I better sign off here. How many minutes have I spent on this? 42, going on 43 minutes. Folks, this is a good video, well worth seeing, contemplating, and as we depart, like I typically say, be nice, be good, be kind to people, because it'll come back to haunt you if you aren't. Over and